Tap into the minds of the innovators who challenge the status quo with new ideas, systems, and solutions. Welcome to Innovation Mavericks.
Welcome to Innovation Mavericks, our vlog with Five Plan Partners. My name's Greg Powell, President and CEO of Five Plan Partners, and I'm very excited about our vlog today. I've got some brilliance with me today, a group that Five Plan Partners is very close to, Magna5. Magna5 is a national managed IT and cybersecurity provider. We started having key conversations with their executives at Magna5 about artificial intelligence. Totally blown away. And so today, I'm honored to introduce Jeff Jablonski, who is Director of Sales at Magna5, Jacob Bever. Jacob is Director of Solutions Engineering at Magna5. And then Justin Cameron is the Chief Technology Officer. On November 12th, Five Plan Partners will be hosting a dinner with Magna5 on how smart businesses are using AI to level up. These three are our keynote speakers, and we thought this was a great way just to start off and introduce you. So who wants to start us off here in terms of AI and what's taking place at Magna5?
Sure. Greg, I'll take that one. At Magna5, as we've been working with clients for, several decades now and helping them, maximize their investment into technology, we always prided ourselves on trying to be on the forefront of what's coming up, throughout our history. And one of the things that came apparent to us is that AI is the next big initiative, right? But one of the things that business owners are really trying to figure out is, how do I leverage it? There's an awful lot going on. It's really in its infancy. It's changing rapidly. So we're fortunate enough to have a couple of thought leaders in our organization with Justin and Jacob. So we started to talk about, well, how can we help this? How can we be the guiding light, right? They rely on us for a lot of other things around their technology needs. So let's get out there and let's talk to folks about what AI is and what it could potentially mean to their business and share our journey with them. Is a good way to start. We don't know that we have all the answers, but we want to be able to start providing that foundation that they can build upon. And we would like to be their partner. They can help them, guide them how it could integrate into their organization.
The three of you you're going to be presenting at our dinner on November 12th to our guest. Talk about some things that you want to cover in that meeting.
Sure, maybe I can take that one. One of it's kind of just sharing the journey that we've been on as it relates to AI. I mean, if we look back to 2023, is that we started looking at, AI is coming. We don't really know where it's going. We don't know what our impact's going to be. We just know we have to do something with it. Is that we know we're a technology company. We have to be at the forefront of it. So we started down the road of actually launching AI to our employees in 2023, really with just the idea of let's just get it out there. Let's just see what we can do with it, see what people's come up with it. Because one of the big areas that's a concern for everyone is just understanding where your AI talent is.
Correct.
And most organizations don't know who their AI all-stars are because it's such a new thing. So we knew we just needed to get it in the hands of employees to start working with it. So we've really worked early on with it. And then as 2024 progressed and into 2025, is that we've really expanded the tools, tried to give more options, more functionality, more capabilities to our employees to just let them have the ability to be creative with it and tie in other areas. And we've really seen some employees do some really impressive things with AI in terms of making their jobs easier, making their jobs better for their employees, and doing some very, very clever things with it. So that's one of the things we want to share, is just the journey that we've been on, where we've gone from just scratching the surface to now we know that 80% of our employee base is using AI on a regular basis. We've crossed 1 billion tokens each month. So we know there's a lot more going on with it. So I'm really excited to share really how we've embraced it and how we've...
Can you give me some examples of that? Can you just talk about some of those, the three of you, or where you're seeing your employees using AI or your customers?
Yeah, I'll give you one example. One of our kind of support leaders found that he was spending a lot of his day just answering in questions from his employees because he has a pretty large group of employees that ultimately report to him. And a lot of it's just questions being like, how do I do this? Where do I go for this? How do I solve this problem? And he started looking at it where he's like, I can build an AI agent and I can start to give it information to say, use the Magna5 knowledge base, use this information I'm providing to you. Here's a set of instructions so that his AI agent becomes representation of him. And his name's Ken. So he built Ken AI. So then he started telling his employees, don't ask me, go ask Ken AI first. And if you don't get an answer, then bring it to me and I'll go enrich my AI. So he really bought into the idea of I'm going to treat my AI agent like an employee that I'm going to invest in, I'm going to educate, I'm going to train. We've also kind of seen that in terms of like metrics is that technicians that we know that are solving technical support problems that use AI are able to do it 75% faster with
that's
AI.
incredible. Yeah.
So we're certainly starting to see kind of some of the tracking metrics have an impact in our organization.
I tell our team here at Five Plan Partners all the time, I've enjoyed working with Magna5 as well because you guys are like a brain trust. I've got more than one person here thinking. So how do you guys interact as you're working with clients to help them in developing their AI strategies? Jacob, you want to take that?
Yeah, and it's a really good question. I think ultimately what is most important for us, and we'll talk a lot about this at the event next week, but it's really around the knowledge share. We don't really know who our AI superstars are, and you may find someone, where you didn't intend to find, right? Somebody who can kind of champion that and share ideas. Wow. So, the group of us here, like we all use it pretty regularly. I'd say that almost, and this is going to sound kind of silly, but just about every really good idea I've gotten with AI has actually come from somebody else, right? Having those discussions. So really what we've done is we set up what we call, and I like the name, I'm a little biased, I set it up, but the AI Power Hour at Magna5, where we actually run monthly.
That's good.
That, includes most of the organization at this point. I think we've probably got over 100 participants now, but we get together and we just talk about what we've been doing with AI. So we'll talk about new technologies, new integrations, new features that we've developed or are working on. But a lot of the times, most of the discussion is just talking through, hey, here's how I used AI this week or this month. And here's how it really, made that job a lot easier. So we can then kind of share that knowledge with the rest of the group, just so we can continue to go down that kind of use case discovery, right? Finding other areas where we can plug that in. And ultimately, when we start working with our clients who are utilizing AI, it's kind of sharing that knowledge and sharing those use cases with them so they can then, gain those efficiencies as well.
Are there certain industries that you see are going to be impacted faster than others because of AI?
Over the next couple of years, we're going to see winners in each type of vertical that has embraced AI that's able to work faster than their competitors. But it's absolutely white collar type fields that are going to be most impacted by AI, where AI can help them the most.
Right. So I'm hearing here a theme in terms of you got to build your systems and processes on a daily, weekly, monthly basis to use AI and then continue to build on top of that. Am I hearing that correctly?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that we haven't even seen any of the economic impact in terms of efficiency yet. There was a MIT study came out that in September that something like only 5% of AI initiatives are actually having a meaningful P&L impact or impacting revenue at this point. So, we haven't even started to scratch the surface with it. I think we are seeing it from a enterprise standpoint where we are seeing some large companies, Amazon, Microsoft, Accenture, that they're coming out and saying, we're starting layoffs as a result of AI. And they're starting to reshift some of their staff that they say can't be retooled in AI, or that they've found ways to automate certain functions with AI.
Let's just role play here from the standpoint, How does somebody start in working with Magna5 in regards to that?
Yeah, it's a really good question. And I think that it's probably not the answer that a lot of people would expect. Really, what you have to do is start a lot smaller and start a lot slower. Before we actually implement any of the AI technologies or start utilizing it within your tools, you really have to look at what is your acceptable AI usage look like, or what could that look like? There probably is most likely today AI usage happening within your organization. And it's not inherently a bad thing, but if that sensitive data is being submitted, where does that data go? Do we have a handle, or do we have our arms around kind of the exposure that creates, right? And the risk that creates. Right. So the idea is let's identify what that policy is. What will I allow my users to utilize AI for? Some low risk tasks like generating emails, summarizing documents, pending the data that's within them. Or using it for things like researching on the web. I think probably one of the simplest and easiest kind of entry points into using AI is using it to do web research. But let's identify what that acceptable AI usage looks like, and let's develop that acceptable use policy specifically for AI. A lot of these organizations already have kind of an IT, information technology acceptable use policy. Let's extend that to AI, right? And we have some examples that we like to share with our customers who are looking to implement that, and maybe they don't have one. And that goes a long way to starting that journey. And then once you've identified what that acceptable usage looks like, let's start raising awareness and trying to increase adoption in the organization.
Do you do analysis to help clients understand how to integrate AI into their systems?
One of the things that's different with AI that's, I'd say, different than a lot of other technology systems is when you think of implementing a lot of technology systems, there's typically a script, there's a function, there's a goal that you're trying to solve with. With AI is that you don't know all the problems you're trying to solve. And where we found organizations be successful is that they empower employees with AI, but then start to look at maybe the 100 tasks that an employee does or a department does, saying, how do we use AI to improve 5 of those? And then give those employees with that domain expertise of those 100 tasks the knowledge of how to use AI so that they can start to apply AI to their areas, their functions. So that's one of the places that we can help is educate them, get them started down the road, but also give them a vehicle so that they can get started. They can have a secure way to give AI to their employees. So that could be a tool that we've built that we can provide to organizations from a secure standpoint to interface with different models. Could help with implementing Microsoft Copilot. So we have various avenues that we could help someone get started.
Well, you help us with our cybersecurity side of it as well, and which is a big issue. But I do believe that the companies going forward that embrace AI and use it the way you're talking about today, they will be very successful going forward.
Yeah, and cybersecurity is another interesting area that's being impacted by AI. The attacks are happening so much faster.
Yes.
Whereas before we'd have humans involved that were trying to break into it, they were leveraging tools, but now we're seeing that the time from breach to them trying to exfil data or shut down systems is happening very, very, very rapidly. You have to have the tools in place that have AI capabilities to really stop things. A lot of the data that's coming out, the biggest challenge is not the technology, it's the people. It's getting people to embrace it, embrace the change, embrace a new way to potentially do their job. And that's where a lot of these AI initiatives are falling down is because of, just human resistance. But Jeff, Jacob, you guys have anything else to add to that?
My thought is for anybody is get started, right?
Right.
You're going to find your way. You're going to uncover ways that you can automate or become faster because of AI, but do it securely, as I think Jacob and Justin both alluded to. Let's get a solid AI policy in place, right? So your employees have some guide rails around them. And then get a tool that can be adopted across the organization that is not cost prohibitive. We can help guide in those areas, but I think you've got to start working with it to understand its full potential that it could have in your organization.
It's going to constantly be evolving, probably getting easier and easier as time goes forward. And if you're not doing it, it'll be even harder to catch up.
No, absolutely, Greg. I would 100% agree. I think that while it is, it can be tough and it can take a lot of effort. It's not going to work the first time. As much as people want to pretend that AI is the easy button, it does take a lot of effort to do it successfully, right? And we've seen that, and the report that Justin alluded to, and even internally with us, it takes a lot of TLC, right? A lot of kind of maintenance and maintaining, but once you set that foundation and build your AI program, I mean, it pays dividends, right? Absolutely. And, the only other thing that I would add, I mean, Justin and Jeff made some really good points. I think just kind of opening the conversation and socializing, right? How you are using it, or what areas, could or do you have issues with today from an automation standpoint that maybe we need to start evaluating? Just have that conversation with your employees, your colleagues, your friends, your family. I mean, we talk about it all the time. But those conversations really help drive those ideas and that adoption.
Just like in the case of Five Plan Partners, there are plenty of do-it-yourselfers out there that go, I can do my own plan. I can do my own portfolio strategies. And then things get really intense, and all of a sudden their net worth changes or family dynamics change, and they go, no, I should have hired you in the first place. Same with the CPA, others. It's starting now that we all may need to start getting an AI professional as part of our brain trust to work with.
The stats are showing that organizations that have tried to do AI initiatives on their own are failing. Is that the ones that are having success or finding partners, finding vendors that are able to help them on their AI journey. And that was part of the MIT study that was released in September. Because we've also seen that we've worked with some organizations where they've tried to build AI on their own. They're trying to build their own models, but by the time they're done with it, is that they're already 3 versions behind what the latest is. It's moving exponentially faster than really anything we've seen in our lifetimes. So it's very tough to try and recreate what these other organizations that are investing billions of dollars in, what they're able to do.
I think one of the things, as I was listening to Justin, there's actually a client that we work with in the Midwest who has tried to build his own internal model. And, he keeps falling behind to the point now where he's engaging with us saying, okay, it's now time for me to work with the professionals, with someone who is focused on AI, who can keep the models up to date, help me integrate the data. I think there's going to be a certain part of the population who are the DIYers, right? They want to go out and give it a try. And then I think they're going to find that it's much like managing a team. It takes a lot of care and feeding, and you need to work with somebody who is focused and has the team to be able to keep it moving forward.
Gentlemen, I really appreciate this time with you today. I appreciate your insight. I think it's a great way for us to let people know the kind of topics we'll be talking about at our dinner on November 12th. Again, the topic that we're going to have is how smart businesses are using AI to level up. So we're very excited about it. I want to thank you on behalf of Five Plan Partners for what you've done at Magna5. And we're looking forward to having this continuing dialogue in Innovation Mavericks, not only today, but as it continues to evolve. So thank you very much, and great insight. And as always, every day here at Five Plan Partners, we strive to see to it that our clients' lives are better, richer, fuller. And we do that by also being around people like the 3 I have on the screen here to brainstorm, to look and see how we can make a difference. Go and have a great week, and we'll look forward to sending our next Innovation Mavericks your way. Thanks.